Tonight in an Action News Now exclusive, we have details on a new lawsuit over freedom of speech the Shasta County leaders have filed against a state agency. Plus, could Glenn County farmers soon have to pay more property tax or pay it again? We'll bring you the details. And wet and wintry weather is back in Northern California. We'll show you how to get your vehicle ready for the road ahead.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Does current state law step on the rights of public employers and employees when it comes to exchanging information about union membership? Shasta County leaders think that it does, and they are now appealing a recent ruling to fight for what they call a free speech issue. Action News Now anchor Haley Watts spoke with Board of Supervisors Chair Kevin Cry about the lawsuit in an Action News Now exclusive.
When we had an employee asked to be represented essentially by the county in this lawsuit, anything when it comes to constitutional rights or defending the First Amendment, I'm always for.
Back in March, Shasta County and one of its employees brought a lawsuit against the State Public Employment Relations Board, known as PERB. The employee claimed they were never told they didn't have to join a union when taking a job with Shasta County.
I'm not anti-union at all, but I'm always very pro-information. I think people should have all the information of any situation or any contract they enter into.
There are two state laws in question in this case. California Code Section 3550, which says public employers cannot discourage employees from becoming union members. And PERB has previously found that even subtle or indirect comments seen as discouraging union membership can violate the law. And Code 3553, subsections B and C, basically mandate that before a public employer informs employees about their rights to join or not join a union, the employer must meet with union reps about it. The lawsuit cites the Supreme Court's 2018 Janus v. ASCME ruling, which recognized public employees' right to decline union membership.
And is the assertion basically that these two state laws are in conflict with the precedent set by the Supreme Court in the Janus decision? Because they're basically saying, hey, county, don't really come out and tell the truth about the fact that they can opt out?
Yeah, that's how I interpret it. Would it be an extra win if other counties like Butte, Glenn, Trinity, Tehama, et cetera, benefited as well? I think so, but this is really about the single employee not having the option to know his rights. And so if it did spread across the state and the rest of the country in different capacities, I think that's a big win.
Now it's up for the court to decide whether or not the First Amendment protects the right to give and receive truthful information. Haley Watts, Action News Now.
The goal of the lawsuit is to get the two laws off the books. The case now moves to the state's third appellate district court in Sacramento. There's no scheduled date yet for the next hearing. We also reached out to PERB and are working to get a response. New developments in Chico's homeless crisis and associated legal issues. The city was back in court for a hearing regarding provisions in the Warren settlement. We told you last week the city and Legal Services of Northern California met in front of a judge regarding Motion 60, which was the city asking for clarification as to whether the settlement applies to 8 plaintiffs listed or the entire Chico homeless community. There's no set date on when the judge will come back with a decision.
Well, it's up to the judge, and it always takes longer than you think it should. But on the other hand, the judicial system in California is so backed up. These guys have a lot of cases on their dockets.
City Manager Mark Sorensen and other council members noted that based on how that hearing went, they're not optimistic about the outcome favoring the city. The next hearing for the second motion regarding operational duties like clearing homeless camps and the process of notifying people camping before a clear out will take place October 29th. Now, a live look at the Alert California Concow Mountain camera where you normally can see Concow Lake in the distance. Not so much today. Conditions have changed quite a bit today, and Howie's tracking that for us. And we got rain that has arrived, Howie.
Yeah, those cameras aren't doing too good today, Alan. The rain's hitting the lenses, and really distorting our view, but here's the radar view, especially over the coast to the west of the coastal range. You're seeing the heaviest of our rain bands in the red there move further to the east. Still, good amount of rain taking place in the valley and the Sierra as well. Then you're seeing the pinks, the combination of rain and snow, and then you're seeing the blue, the snow, 5,500 feet and higher, with the best chances for heavy snow will be 6,500 feet or higher, where we have the winter storm warnings, which I'll show you in a second. Here's a look at our temperatures. Remember, we should be closer to 80. We're 25 degrees below average right now in the valley with the rain and the clouds and the winds. Now, here's a look at those winds. A couple hours ago, we were gusting to 35 miles per hour. Winds are starting to settle, and that's good, but we're still going to have 35 to 40 mile per hour winds in the higher elevations where we're looking at winter storm warnings. Again, the Highway 50, I-80 corridors, you can see 8 inches or more of snow on those roads. And you got way up there even more. We're talking feet of snow.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Howie. We are tracking rainy conditions in Reading, where Caltrans is urging drivers to get ready for the wet and wintry weather. And as you can see, Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo is live there in the elements with more on what you need to hit the road. How's it looking there right now, Jesse?
Alan, the rain continues to fall here. I'm at the Fondale exit off of I-5 and Mountain Gate. It's a common intersection here or common off-ramp to make closures when winter weather comes. Now, no such closures are expected from this storm, but Caltrans is reminding drivers that they should be prepared for winter driving conditions and to make sure that vehicles are all ready for things like brakes, windshield wipers, headlights, and also to make sure that you have everything packed in your car that you would need for winter conditions, such as water and tire chains. Also, they're reminding drivers to slow down and drive for the conditions, especially when conditions get slick. And that could happen. Chris Woodward with Caltrans says that drivers could see some snow in some areas.
I think for the most part, a lot of our elevations just will be getting rain. But if you are going over the elevations of 5,000 foot, then make sure that you're prepared for some snow.
Woodward says that highways 36 and 44 toward Mount Lassen could see some snow, as well as Highway 3 between Weaverville and Wairika. So everybody's encouraged to just be extra safe out on the roadways. Live in Mountain Gate, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
All right, thank you for those suggestions and warnings there, Jesse. Caltrans recommends using their Quick Map app to check road conditions before you go. Well, if you're hoping to become an accountant, a new law in California is making it easier. Chico State says the new law is lowering educational barriers to become a certified public accountant. It reduces the requirements from 150 to 120 credits, and that's about a year for a full-time student. A Chico State spokesperson says right now there's a nationwide shortage of CPAs, and this change could help ease that in California. Tomorrow, Glenn County supervisors might choose to do away with the property tax break currently given to most local farmers to help with the county's budget shortfall. Action News Now reporter Sade Pullen shows us the potential impacts.
Glenn County supervisors have a decision to make, whether or not to reinstate a property tax on farmers to combat the county's budget deficit. For the past 2 years, most farmers within the county have not had to pay property taxes on those farms. The tax break stems from the Williamson Act, a 1965 state law designed to preserve farmland. But in 2009, the state stopped funding the act, leaving counties to subsidize the tax breaks on their own. Then Assembly Bill 1265 passed in 2011.
And AB 1265 essentially gives the counties the opportunity to keep the farming ground in the Williamson Act, but be able to get 10% of that tax break back.
Carmen tells me that Glenn County first implemented the 10% recapture in 2017. But for the past 2 years, farmers have not had to pay any property taxes to help them offset the long-term effects of the 2020 throughout 2022 drought. But now Carmen says he's not sure the county can afford to keep helping the farmers.
Currently, we just passed our final budget and we're still about $1.5 million short. if we're able to implement AB 1265, we can keep the land in the Williamson Act, but we do claw back the $880,000 there. The farmers are still getting about $9 million in subsidies from the county.
I talked to one farmer who's a part of the Glenn County Farm Bureau. He says this possible tax revision could be harmful to farmers, citing that it decreases cash flow to the farmers and it would impact the economic value of their real estate. He thinks there's a better way for the county to confront the budget.
But the county has the ability to raise sales tax. The county has the ability to reduce expenses, and just relying on a small portion of population to fix an issue that probably needs to be addressed within the budget.
Supervisor Carmen told me that a sales tax increase has been discussed before, but he says it wouldn't be nearly as impactful as reclaiming the property tax. And he says non-farmers already have to pay enough in taxes. In Glenn County, I'm Shadi Pullen, Action News Now.
That Glenn County Board of Supervisors meeting is tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Willows Memorial Hall. Still to come on Action News Now at 6, we'll bring you this week on Straight from the Source, Paradise Town Council member Heidi Lang. And pumpkin season is in full swing, and one Chico farm is ready for the fall crowds.